In 2020, the world stopped. For months, the sound of sneakers on hardwood was replaced by silence. Everywhere, fear, confusion, isolation. But then, deep inside an empty complex in Orlando, basketball was reborn. No fans, no families, no home court advantage. Just players, coaches, and the echo of every bounce reverberating through a bubble that felt like another planet. In that strange, suspended world, a team from Miami would become something more than a basketball story. They became a symbol of heart, of resilience, of defiance itself. This is how the 2020 Miami Heat defied everything. Before the bubble, no one saw them coming. The Heat weren't built like a contender. They were built like a challenge. Jimmy Butler wasn't supposed to be a franchise cornerstone. He was the problem child teams couldn't keep. Bam Adebayo was still learning how good he really was. Tyler Herro was 20, a rookie with swagger but no resume. Goran Dragic was aging. Jay Crowder had just been traded mid-season. And Eric Spoelstra was still living in the shadow of the Big Three era. They finished just 5th in the East. To most analysts, they were a scrappy playoff team at best, a year or two away from relevance. But then the pandemic hit, and when the season paused, when the world reset, Miami didn't crumble. They prepared. They stayed hungry, stayed disciplined, stayed connected. While other teams were just surviving the pause, the Heat were sharpening their culture. The bubble was more than a setting. It was a test. 3 months of isolation. No fans, no travel, no escape from the game or from yourself.
Everything is different, and you have to be able to adjust to it. So I don't know as far as if it was like a home game at Staples Center, they won't have that feeling because our fans just give us so much energy. Our fans give us so much support, and we want to try to give that back to them on the floor.
In that environment, focus became a weapon. Ego fell apart. Weak chemistry cracked. But Miami thrived. They didn't need noise to stay motivated. They didn't need lights or cameras to play hard. They had a mantra older than the pandemic itself. Heat culture. Work, toughness, conditioning, accountability. Values that don't change when the world does.
Without having 20,000 people in the stands, is there a different level of emotion and crowd noise and those sorts of things? Yeah, of course. But there's a reason why we do what we do.
And in that silence, those values spoke louder than ever. First came Indiana. 4 games, 4 wins. Routine. Surgical. They looked like a team on a mission.
The Miami Heat with their first playoff series win since 2016 as they knock off the Indiana Pacers.
Then came Milwaukee, the league's top seed, the MVP, the unstoppable Bucks. Everyone predicted a short series. Instead, Miami dismantled them. Giannis fell, both literally and symbolically. The Heat's zone defense, Spoelstra's strategy, and Jimmy's willpower broke a juggernaut built on regular season dominance.
That's it. The Milwaukee Bucks lose. The best team in the NBA is gone. And the Miami Heat going to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 6 years.
By the time they reached Boston, they weren't underdogs anymore. They were believers. Bam's block on Jason Tatum became a symbol of the entire run. Instinct, strength, and defiance meeting in midair.
Working against Butler, got downhill, couldn't punch it. Bam says, get it out of here. Adebayo, sky high with the block and rejection.
The Heat advanced to the finals. 5th seed, empty arena, full heart. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the stories behind the shots, make sure to subscribe to 3 Point Revolution, because this channel isn't about headlines, it's about legacy. The finals were a war, not the kind fought with anger, but with exhaustion, sacrifice, and pride. The Lakers had star power. LeBron, AD, destiny on their side. Miami had Jimmy Butler, defiance in human form. Game 3, a masterpiece. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists. No Bam, no Dragic, no excuses. Just one man refusing to break.
They throw it ahead to Butler, and Butler throws it down. Butler drives and finishes. Pass inside to Olynyk. Oh, what a feed from Butler.
He played 47 minutes in Game 5, collapsing into exhaustion after victory, whispering, "It's all heart."
James gets off the three. It's over. The Heat take every punch and refuse to surrender. There'll be a Game 6. Jimmy Butler with another masterpiece.
It wasn't enough to win the series, but it was enough to win the world's respect. Because in a time when everything felt fake, when the bubble felt hollow, Jimmy Butler made it feel real. People remember championships, but sometimes greatness lives in the spaces between them. The 2020 Heat didn't win the trophy, but they carried the weight of that moment. The loneliness, the fear, the need for something human. Spoelstra coached like a philosopher. Bam grew from promising talent to centerpiece. Herro became a household name overnight. And Jimmy Butler reminded the world that leadership isn't about ego. It's about empathy, sacrifice, and obsession. They were outgunned, undersized, overlooked, and yet they stood in the finals, fighting the biggest brand in basketball, while the world watched from behind masks and screens, searching for something to believe in. For millions, the Miami Heat became that something. So, how good were they really? Talent-wise, they were a solid B. Depth, shooting, defense, all strong, but not historic. But heart, A+. Culture, A-. Legacy impact, A-. Average it out, and you get a B+. A grade that means something rare. A team that wasn't the best, but was exactly what the world needed in that moment. When the lights went dark, they burned brighter. When the world lost its rhythm, they found theirs. And when everything seemed uncertain, the Miami Heat stood for something that never changes: belief.
Very much so. I think Coach Pat and everybody else in the organization did a great job of putting this group together. We've been together, we've been in each other's corner all year long, and it doesn't stop here. We got 4 more to go.
If you want to see the other side of this story, the champions who met them in that bubble battlefield, watch our breakdown on how good were the 2020 Lakers really. You can also explore the full Dynasties and Underdog playlist to experience every story in the revolution that changed basketball. This is AB from 3 Point Revolution, the stories behind the shots.